You're going to find the department head and you're going to punch him right in his little bird face.
Hi everybody, I'm Jessie and we are here at Barnes & Noble Union Square with USA Today best-selling author Kimberly Lemming for I Got Abducted by Aliens and Now I'm Trapped in a Rom-Com. Hi Kimberly.
Hi, thanks for having me.
Thank you for coming, we're so excited. I absolutely loved I Got Abducted by Aliens and Now I'm Trapped in a Rom-Com. I also love the title, so I'm going to say it as many times as I possibly can throughout this interview. But do you want to give us your little elevator pitch for I Got Abducted by Aliens and Now I'm Trapped in a Rom-Com for anybody who doesn't know?
Sure. All right. So imagine you're a wildlife biologist doing your best to study meerkats and make sure there's a healthy breeding population. Then you get abducted by aliens who put you in a breeding situation with an endangered species. And they proceed to do absolutely no research whatsoever. They sort of just made like a bootleg version of Earth and said, this is fine. No one's going to notice the difference, but you notice because you have a PhD in noticing these things.
You're also a human from Earth.
Also a human and who very clearly sees that there's dinosaurs running amok, if you will. And you decide, you know what? The alien abduction, we can get past that. The new alien boyfriends, we can get past that. But what you can't get past is the absolute lack of research. So what are you going to do? You're going to find the department head and you're going to punch him right in his little bird face.
Punch him in his bird face, exactly. I love it. So yeah, if anybody has not read it yet, I'm sure that sold you. So let's get into it. So I noticed, this is not my first foray into alien romance, monster romance. It kind of, runs the in between them there. I wonder, who or what are some of your writing inspirations over the past? I noticed that you were blurbed here by Ruby Dixon, whom I love as well.
I adore her.
Yes, she's amazing. But I want to talk a little bit more about, your inspiration for this and just kind of generally your writing inspirations.
Well, as much as I'd love to pretend this didn't start as sort of like a joke pitch, it did. So basically what happened is that my previous series, Mead Mishaps, got picked up by a publisher. And at the time, another publisher wanted a different series from me. And I wasn't really sure if I wanted to go more traditional route or stay indie. So I was just like, okay, I'll make them an offer so ridiculous they'll have to refuse it. What does TradPub not publish? Alien romance, poly, and you know what? Why not dinosaurs? So I started thinking to myself, I should make an alien romance. Well, what's the plot going to be? What's this going to be about? At the time, for some odd reason, I was watching Meerkat Manor, just rewatching it. And I had this fun idea of, hang on, what if the animal researcher gets abducted by aliens and gets put in this breeding program, and because those aliens took so many shortcuts, they decided to just send a bunch of interns to Earth for 3 days and just scan some DNA from some Earth museums. Oh yeah, that's the largest amount of DNA we can find on this planet. We'll just scan that, clone it onto a new planet. And I was cracking up this idea so much. She's like, you know what? We're doing it. And I ended up writing 3 chapters and submitting it to them. And they said yes. And I was like, oh.
You're like, oh no, now I have to write it.
And then, yeah, the rest is history. It's like, you know what? We're going to have fun with this one. And it was probably my favorite book to write so far.
Oh, amazing. I love something that starts as a joke and then someone's like, no, let's keep going. And
then
you're like,
I was like,
oh no, okay.
I didn't plan this through.
That too, God. Well, speaking, of the research and everything like that, did you have to do you have a background in biology or paleontology or archaeology or any of these things, or how much research did you have to do for this book?
I'm mostly just an animal nerd.
Okay,
and
great.
Watched a lot of Animal Planet growing up. But for this book, I did end up going to Philly and visiting all of the museums I mentioned in the book.
Oh, okay, great.
So I ended up sort of just studying all the dinosaurs they had there and picking out which ones stuck out to me. For example, I'm not going to say the scientific name because I won't be able to, but the duck-bill dinosaurs, the ones from Land Before Time, the crest on their head, it actually makes them sound like a saxophone. And I thought that was so freaking
really
cool.
Now
Yeah.
I'm just imagining them here on this planet with just
yeah, exactly,
coming from the wild area over there. Avoid that area maybe.
Yeah,
Or go check them out. Maybe we want to research them.
We might have to.
Do.
Yeah, mostly just dinosaur research is what I did with this. And for some odd reason, I was convinced that I had to convince my line editor that I knew what I was talking about. So the original document that I sent to Berkeley was just full of my nonsense notes to prove that I knew what I was talking about. I ended up searching how much weight a horse could carry, so I could make sure that this duck-billed dinosaur could carry all of them. So I had to like do the math where like I was like, okay, so 20% of the body weight, what's the normal weight of this dinosaur, all this and that. It was ridiculous. There was no point to it, but I had to let them know that I knew what I was talking about.
No, there was point to it. I would have also been like, I don't think that this dinosaur is strong enough to be carrying them as they do some misdeeds throughout the jungle, you know? Anyway. Well, I had a question for you now, is if you were, oh my God, abducted by these little sour birds, taken to a planet, but you know, they gave you like a minute. They were like, you know what, we're feeling really generous here. We're gonna give you a minute to gather a couple things.
So just what are your like? I can't like order stuff.
Do you have things on your mind? You're like, if I had to, I'd order this, that, and the other.
Absolutely.
You know, give me your dream. Your dream time for you're about to be shipped off to Waffles. What are you bringing with you?
So my dream is to get a solar-powered phone case like Doris. I can still listen to my music. A giant tub of Old Bay seasoning. Some survival books so I know which herbs I can eat without dying, because I feel like I'm not going to know. Like what tree bark can you boil to make whatever? I don't have that information. But what I do, I can get books that have that information. So I'd bring all of those. I would bring probably some coffee plants. I didn't add coffee plants to that planet. Then mostly just make sure I can listen to music, a generator maybe, because why not? If I got like unlimited time. Yeah,
you know those are some very strong things to take on your desert island type situation. So
listen, everything's better with Old Bay seasoning. It's just the truth.
That's the truth. It's one of the top 3 to 5 things that you were like, that's what I need to survive. That's great. If anybody else has other opinions about that, let us know what you're taking if you're abducted. You know, let's hear about it. I feel like all of your characters are so fun and singular in them, but do you feel like you have a similarity, a closeness to any of your characters over the Mead mishaps and this book that you're just like, that's me, that I put into this book?
So I'd probably say I'm a cross between Dante and Alexis, because like Dante, I want things to be clean. If I can buy it new, I will. And we both are just like a little autistic with our special interests. And if you let us, we'll talk about that endlessly forever and ever. And Alexis is just all of my inner thoughts that I don't say out loud, that I can make her say in the book. So
perfect. And for anybody who doesn't know, Dante and Alexis are in which book?
Oh, they are in the 3rd book of the Mead Mishap series.
That time I got drunk and saved a human. Exactly. Well, similar but slightly different. If you could have like a little sleepover, and I'll let you decide what kind of sleepover you want to have with one of your characters, who would it be?
I would say Toto and Alexis, because I think it would be hilarious.
Okay.
I doubt we'd be doing any sleep. We'd probably like end up hunting down some kind of small dinosaur or raiding a brewery, and I'm down for either.
Sounds like a good time. Absolutely. I'm down for that too. So I think I was noticing it more, noticing it through all of your writing, but within Mead Mishaps, there are some things where I'm just like, Kimberly's got to play D&D. Are you a D&D player?
Yeah, I haven't had a group that I can play with for a couple of years now, but I do love playing D&D.
And do you feel like that specific brand of storytelling helps you with coming up with your ideas and writing, or do you ever use that kind of avenue to come up with ideas and create stories?
Surprisingly, not yet. I haven't really had a group to play with since before COVID.
Okay. All straight out of the noggin. Okay, amazing. Something else that I have found really, really wonderful about your writing is your use of modern voice. It is just so refreshing and wonderful. You know, I love all of these different kind of alien, monster, fantasy, all these kinds of different books where, you know, all of the love interests are speaking like they're Lord of the Rings high elves, which is great. But I do also appreciate that sometimes our aliens just kind of sound like Derek from Earth. Yeah. You know, was this something that you've always felt was your like way you wanted to speak with your main characters, really just sounding like they're one of us here on Earth also, and just like plucked into this fantasy world? And, you know, or did you have to like fight against that with yourself or with any publishers about what their voices could be? No, I sort of decided that was going to be the way it's going to be right off the bat. Mostly because as much as we love the Shakespearean talk of all the fantasy stories, it's not usually actually how they talk. They still use slang. We just don't know what it was. Right. We just aren't living with them, so we don't know what they're slaying. Right. So if I'm going to be using the wrong type of language anyway, I'm just going to do the type of language that I understand. Yeah. Amazing. Okay. I also, something I think is wonderful. Your opening lines are truly the best. If anybody doesn't know all the opening lines, just pick up all of these books. Just first line, you're going to get in it. Do you have one that you're like, that's my favorite one? That's my favorite opening line.
I'd say this one.
This one?
Nugget, you evil stop murdering half the desert. That was a fun one.
Can you? I'm sorry. Incredible. Thick and Nugget. You evil stop murdering half the desert. Yep. That's it. And that was all it took for me. I'm not going to lie. And you got me. So I know we are here, obviously, to celebrate I Got Abducted by Aliens and Now I'm Trapped in a Rom-Com. And you're allowed to just celebrate that for a second and not worry about it. You don't have to. But if you wanted to tell us about some other upcoming projects you've got, I don't know, and anything else brewing on the horizon, you want to let us know?
So I'm actually in the middle of writing the second book in the series of Cosmic Chaos.
Yes.
I believe we decided it's going to be I Punched a King and Now We're in Couples Therapy. And if you're interested, the first line of that book is currently, I love Portia, but she makes you realize why they put warning, contents may catch fire on a blowtorch.
Incredible. Oh, I'm so excited. Okay, that's amazing. I'm hoping that in this we're going to be meeting some new characters and some old characters that we love, and I hope we get a little more of our dear Toto
He'll definitely
and his
be back.
fierce queen. I'm looking forward to some of that. So, okay, that's so exciting. Well, we are about out of time here. We got to go do our event here at Barnes & Noble Union Square. But before we go, I did want to do one final thing that we do here in these interviews. Is called Book Tarot. Okay. I'm going to flip through I Got Abducted by Aliens, Now I'm Trapped in a Rom-Com. And I'm going to have you ask me or tell me to stop 3 times. Okay. And then whichever line I land on, that's your fortune for the day.
Oh, that's concerning.
You ready to go?
Let's do it.
Okay. I'm going to stop.
Stop.
I'm going to stop.
Stop.
Tell me when to stop.
Stop.
In response to Saul's plea, the cantankerous dinosaur beneath him showed blatant disregard.
No. That's not a good omen for me. Can we pick a different one?
I feel like it's just we're being stubborn.
So I'm the cantankerous dinosaur.
You can be the cantankerous dinosaur if you want.
That makes sense.
Yeah, you don't have to be Saul struggling with the cantankerous dinosaur.
Okay. Let's go with that. I'm the dinosaur.
Aren't we all a little bit just the cantankerous dinosaur here and there? All right, well, thank you so much, Kimberly. This is amazing, and I'm so excited for everyone who's joining us tonight to be a part of this event. We have Alexandria Belfleur coming to be in conversation, which is going to be amazing too. If you are joining us, can't wait. We'll see you soon. If not, thanks for joining us here. And make sure you pick up I Got Abducted by Aliens and Now I'm Trapped in a Rom-Com by Kimberly Lemming. It's out now. Yay.
Thank you.
Woohoo! Woo! Okay, that's it.
All right, we did it.
We did it!